Welcome to the big leagues of app marketing. Today, we're diving into the ASO showdown, Google Play versus the Apple App Store. Now, you might think they're pretty similar, but trust me, when it comes to getting your app noticed, they're playing two completely different games. So let's figure out how to play both of them to win.
Okay, so picture this. You've poured your heart and soul, countless hours, and probably way too much caffeine into building the perfect app. It's done. It's beautiful. It's ready for the world. But here's the tough part. Publishing it is really just the beginning. The real question is, in a sea of millions of other apps, how does anyone actually find yours? That's the puzzle we're going to solve today. So what's the secret weapon? Well, it's called App Store Optimization, or ASO for short. The easiest way to think about it is like SEO, for Google search, but specifically for the app world. It's all about tweaking and polishing your app's listing so you can climb those search rankings and, most importantly, get more people to hit that download button. Now, here's where it gets tricky. You can't just create one strategy and call it a day. That's because the two biggest players, Google and Apple, have completely different philosophies about how they run their stores. And to win this game, you absolutely have to understand how each one thinks. All right, let's kick things off with Google. The best way, hands down, to get your head around the Play Store's algorithm is to picture it as a gigantic, super smart librarian who is just obsessed with cataloging every single piece of information. So this librarian, our Google algorithm, it literally reads everything to figure out what an app is truly about. We're talking title, your descriptions, it's even scanning your user reviews to pull out keywords and understand the context. And you know how a librarian loves a well-cited research paper? Well, Google sees backlinks from other websites as little votes of confidence, which can actually help your ranking. It's all about deep, data-driven, contextual relevance. But then you've got Apple. And oh boy, it's a completely different universe. If Google is the librarian buried in books, Apple is the sophisticated, sharp-eyed art gallery curator, totally focused on presentation, polish, and quality.
Think about it. A curator isn't going to read a 1,000-page novel to understand a painting. They care about the title plaque, the artist statement, and, of course, how the art is presented on the wall. That's Apple. It puts a ton of weight on the information you explicitly give it. Your metadata, your keywords, and especially on your visuals. For Apple, that user's first impression is everything.
Okay, now that we know how they think, let's see where the rubber meets the road. First up in this showdown, the war of words. Let's look at how you need to optimize your text for each store.
Both stores give you a little snippet of text you can put right near your app's title, but they are for totally different reasons. And right away, you can see a huge difference. Google gives you a pretty roomy 80 characters for a short description, while Apple keeps it tight with just 30 characters for a subtitle. And this means your strategy has to be completely different. On Google, that 80-character description is basically invisible in search, which makes it a fantastic hidden spot to pack in some valuable keywords for the algorithm to find. But on Apple, that 30-character subtitle is front and center in the search results. It's prime real estate for a punchy, persuasive tagline that makes someone want to click. It's for humans, not for keyword stuffing. This whole different philosophy thing continues with how they handle keywords. True to form, Google the librarian reads your entire long description, analyzing it to figure out what your app does. Apple the curator? It doesn't guess. It just asks. It gives you a special 100-character keyword field and basically says, tell me exactly what you want to rank for. The strategic difference here is massive. For Google Play, your long description is a powerful ranking weapon. You need to write that description for the algorithm, carefully weaving in your keywords. A good rule of thumb is about 2 to 3% density. But for Apple, the long description has zero, and I mean zero, impact on your search rank. It's purely for the user who's already on your page. So you use that space to write amazing, persuasive copy that convinces them to download.
All right, we've covered the words. Let's move on to the second battleground and maybe the most interesting one, the visuals. This is where you can really see those librarian and curator philosophies come to life.
And wow, this really says it all, doesn't it? When you search for an app on Google Play, you get a clean, simple, text-focused list. Icon, title, rating. Very librarian-like. But on the Apple App Store, it's a visual feast. You see the title, you see that persuasive subtitle we talked about, and this is huge. Your first few screenshots and even your app preview video are right there in the results. Let's dig into those screenshots. Google lets you have up to 8, but a user generally has to click on your listing to see them. Apple gives you up to 10, but here's the absolute key. The first 3 are visible directly in the search results. Let that sink in. On Apple, your first 3 screenshots are your first impression. They have to be amazing, they have to tell a story and grab attention instantly.
Their approaches to video are also polar opposites. Google, being Google, taps into its YouTube ecosystem. You just give it a public YouTube link, no time limit, which is great for SEO and discoverability. Apple, the curator, wants control. It uses up to 3 short, snappy 30-second app previews that it hosts itself. These aren't for discovery. They're quick, focused demos built for one thing, getting that download.
So, after all that, what's the final score? We've covered a ton of ground, I know. Let's put it all together in a quick head-to-head recap so you can see it all in one place. And here it is, the tale of 2 stores. Just look at the differences. Google cares about off-page stuff like backlinks and uses your long description to rank you. Apple doesn't care about either of those. Instead, Apple gives massive weight to your visuals in search and gives you that dedicated keyword field. Google just infers everything from your text. They are truly 2 separate ecosystems, and each one demands its own custom-built strategy.
You know, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Google Play is where you win with a smart, deep keyword strategy that's woven through all of your text. But the Apple App Store, that's where you win by being an artist, by emphasizing creativity and absolutely nailing your visual presentation. So, I'll leave you with this one question. Go take a hard look at your own App Store listing right now. Is it built for the librarian, or is it built for the curator? Because knowing the answer to that question, well, that's your first step to really winning this ASO showdown. Thanks for tuning in.